Combat in The Witcher 2 is fast-paced, frantic, and at times ruthlessly unforgiving. So, if approached in the wrong way, skirmishes can be short, bloody, and potentially frustrating. You will regularly find yourself outnumbered in combat against skilled foes, so success comes from knowing your weaknesses and playing to your strengths, using all the advantages a badass demon hunting mutant like Geralt has at his disposal. With the recent arrival of the Xbox 360 Enhanced Edition, we figured it was the perfect time to share some of our tips and tricks to provide newcomers to the series with an accessibility ramp up the steep learning curve of combat. While other games allow the quaffing of tasty health potions mid-combat, The Witcher 2 does not, instead emphasising preparation before battle. This means preemptively drinking potions and honing your blade with oil and stone. For the former, there are a number of potions available at the early stages of the game. Some straight up buff your stats or give new abilities, while others offer a trade-off, generously boosting some stats while hindering others. Make sure you get to know your potion options and use accordingly. As for your blade, oils and whetstones are great at giving a much needed damage boost. Some oils target specific enemy types, while others offer general damage increases. Try to observe your environment to predict your likely foes, and coat your blade in the appropriate oil. Once the fighting starts, it's all about dispatching your enemies with skill. Geralt usually finds himself grossly outnumbered, so keep moving and work on whittling down their numbers while keeping yourself out of harm's way. Being surrounded is a death sentence in The Witcher 2, as unlike Assassin's Creed for example, your foes will not take turns to attack. So keep moving, dive in, light attack, and then get the hell out of there. Like any good hunter, try to pick off the weakest first. Any blade can kill Geralt, but those without armour can easily be dispatched, quickly levelling the playing field. Enemies carrying shields will attempt to charge and knock you to the floor, making you super vulnerable. To take them down, wait for them to commit to an attack, then dodge and circle around behind them for a deadly blow. This works well for any heavily armoured foe, as backstabs do extra damage. Archers are also a big threat, so put some cover between you or close the distance, forcing them to draw blades. Signs are arguably Geralt's biggest advantage in combat. One of the most useful is Quen, which produces a magical shield preventing damage from enemy attacks. While it only takes a couple of hits to dissipate, Quen gives you that opportunity to take a risk and dive in for a killing blow. Use it and use it often. Casting Ard sees a kinetic force ripple from Geralt's hand before slamming into the enemy. This can knock back, knock over, or even stun completely, leaving the Berserker wide open for a gruesome one-hit kill sequence. In some cases, Ard can even be used to blast enemies off cliff edges. Yarden, or Wyrdon, is a magical trap which causes damage and immobilizes foes. Use this sign to split up your enemies, or to leave a dangerous opponent wide open for some heavy attacks. Igni? Anyway, it's a handy fire attack, causing incineration damage to the target, and it's useful against anyone and everyone. Finally, Axii, let's go with Axii, turns an enemy on the others. This sign requires a good few seconds to activate, however, so make sure there's plenty of space between you and your opponents before you cast. Geralt can use traps, bombs, and daggers in the middle of battle. Each can be instrumental in giving you the edge in a fray. Some traps are great for immobilizing your foes, creating much needed space between you and your enemies, while others, like the Conflagration trap, can cause massive explosive damage to multiple targets. Bombs can be used to deal damage to multiple foes, while throwing daggers take a huge chunk of health from a single target, great for combating dangerous foes from a distance. Finally, one of the simplest ways to decrease your chances of repeatedly dying a horrible death is to pick the most useful abilities. You should start by bolstering your defense. First to consider is hardiness, which significantly increases your health bar known as vitality. Next on the list should be parrying, which lets you block pointy objects from all directions. Very handy. Once you progress a little farther, all the other talent trees should open up, offering a myriad of opportunity. However, your first port of call should definitely be the riposte ability, allowing Geralt to perform a deadly counterattack. Though the combat in The Witcher 2 may start with a steep learning curve, once you master the basics, the tense and frenetic combat quickly becomes really satisfying, conveying a feeling of significant power and vulnerability at the same time. We hope this advice has been useful to you, and if you have any more tips to successful butchery in The Witcher 2, be sure to post them in the comments box. Happy witchering!